I had a karate dojo in New York City. And year goes by teaching karate, and I grew up anxious. What am I doing this? What's this karate? It was a question that, it really bothered me. So I went to bookstores. Those days in New York only had one bookstore with the Japanese books, but there was no karate book. All was kendo, judo, aikido, and of course related to Zen. So more I read, more anxious I get. What am I teaching over here? All these people sign up, and they say this is self-defense. Self-defense. Oh, I grew very anxious. So in 1968, I left New York Dojo and traveled to Okinawa and meet with Nagamine Sensei. I trained in karate in Sensei's dojo, took 4 classes a day. 6 in the morning with Nagamine Sensei, 1:30, 3:30, and 8 p.m. I would wet 4 gis a day. So, first 15 minutes of every class, there was no part of my body that did not hurt from head to toe. I was the pain. I could not sleep, for my eyes would not close. I sat zazen till midnight in the small room next to the dojo. I could hear the steps of the roaches on the deck of the dojo. However, 2 months into this regime, I was physically fit, like a perpetual machine. All the pain left from me. After a 6 a.m. class, we would have a cup of coffee with Sensei Nagamine. And he would retire for a nap. This is every day. In this particular morning, after Sensei retired, the sky turned black. A heavy rain started to come down. So hard, it was monsoon in a few minutes. I was looking through the window. I noticed a man walking with a newspaper in the head, hoping to reach the next doorway. The stranger's eye met with mine. At that particular moment, and for no discerning reason, tears ran down from my face. I was thunderstruck. I did not know how long I sat in the chair with my eyes closed. Open. A heavy load was being lifted from me, and all tension, anxious thought were replaced with a calm feeling of emptiness. I sat in silence for a long time. Then I suddenly realized that Zen was missing in my training. So that was the first realization. It really shakes you. So some message is there. became clear to, when I returned to New York, Zazen will be an integrated part of every karate class in the dojo. I felt totally relieved and serene. I was also determined to bring Nagamine Sensei with me to New York to establish Kenzen Ichinyo Dojo. I don't know if you heard of Kenzen Ichinyo. Ken is spelled fist, Zen as one. So I bow humbly and ask Sensei, please come with me to New York. Of course, he refused with a smile. But I never abandoned my mission and kept on asking. After 2 weeks or so, I was ready to go back to New York. Sensei asked me, can you wait a week? I'll go with you to New York. I was the happiest man on earth. Sensei Nagamine asked Mr. Omine, his senior students, to accompany him. Three of us went to New York and established Kenzen Ichinyo Dojo in New York City. Mr. Omine opened a dojo in Long Island with Matsubayashi students. Nagamine Sensei went back to Okinawa and we carried out Kenzen Ichinyo Dojo with my students. In 1970, we met with Sakiyama Zen Osho of Kamakura Temple of Japan. Everything happened within 2 years. I'm looking for karate teachers, shows up over there. It's no strange thing. There's no casual thing. When you really want something, teachers will show up. That's what I gather. New York Dojo was established with a formal zazen for 4 years till Sakiyama Osho left Okinawa. In 1977, we moved to Hawaii and trained in Chozen-ji under Tano Hiroshi. Okay, this is my background, how I found Zen, shall I say. So, Makahanya Paramita Shingyo is the shortest of the 40 sutras that constitute the Paramita Sutra. It is one of the most important sutras of Mahayana Buddhism, and particularly in China and Japan. It is recited by monks and nuns of all schools of Zen. The sutra is especially emphasizing Zen since it formulates in a particularly clear and concise way to teaching of sunyata, emptiness, the immediate experience of which is taught by Zen practitioners. The fifth of sentence of the Heart Sutra is form is no other than emptiness. Emptiness is no other than form. An affirmation that is frequently referred to in Zen. It translates in English this way here. When the Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara was engaged in the practice of the deep paramita, he perceived that there are the 5 skandhas, and these he saw their natural nature empty. At this point, I must say, most teachers, they are reluctant to translate the sutra because when you say, I know the translation, the reader might fall into the tendency of, I know the meaning of the sutra, therefore I don't have to practice the sutra over and over. That's a cardinal mistake. That is what is called intellect working against you. I have a relevant experience regarding the sutra reading. In York Dojo, after each karate class, we sit zazen, finishing with okyo reading. In this particular session, in the middle of the chanting okyo, suddenly the voices of all the students became one with my voice and emanated from my mouth in one sound. I don't know how long I sat stupefied. However, it will live with me as long as I live this unique experience as a Dharma gift. It is strange that you chant, all of a sudden, the voices of the student become one with mine and come out. How do you translate that? So translation of the okyo is not the point. So the translation continues. O Sariputra, all things here are characterized with emptiness. They are no born, they are not annihilated, they are not tainted, they are not immaculate, they do not increase, they do not decrease. Therefore, O Sariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no sensation, no eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no form, sound, color, taste, touch, object, no datsu or wisdom, till we come to the datsu of consciousness. There is no knowledge, no ignorance. Till we come to there is no old age and no death. No extinction of old age and death. There is no suffering. There is no accumulation, no annihilation, no path. There is no knowledge, no realization, because there is no attainment in the mind of the bodhisattva who dwells depending on the prana paramita. There are no obstacle, and going beyond the perverted views, he reaches final nirvana. Or the Buddhas after the past, present, and the future, depending on the prana paramita, attain the highest perfect enlightenment. Therefore, one ought to know that the prana paramita is the great mantram, the mantram of great wisdom, the highest mantram, the peerless mantram, which is capable of allowing all pain. It is truth because there is no falsehood. There is the mantram proclaimed in the prana paramita. It runs, gyate, gyate, para gyate, paraso gyate, bodhisattva. Oh, body gone, gone, gone to the other shore, land of the other shore. Next is the treatment of sunyata, or empty, or emptiness, sunyata. One of the most important notions in Mahayana philosophy, and at the same time, the most puzzling for non-Buddhist readers to comprehend. Emptiness does not mean relativity or phenomenality or nothingness, but rather mean the absolute or something of transcendental nature. When Buddhists declare all things to be empty, they are not advocating a nihilistic view. On the contrary, an ultimate reality is hinted at, which cannot be subsumed under the category of logic. Next, we talk about enso. Drawing of circle as a symbol of the absolute, the true reality, enlightenment. Enso executed by Omori Roshi Rotaishi on the center of Chozen-ji temple ground denotes the expression of the empty, sunyata. The first move of the kata, kusanku, is a perfect enso where emptiness is epitomized, hence karate as the hen that emanates from the void, emptiness. That's the book all about. But this will conclude, shall I say, my search of karate, what it means. To me, karate means this.